a plan, staying ready, being prepared saves you time, because then again, you're not fumbling around and just winging it and seeing what happens. Hey players, welcome back to the Slaying Self Doubt YouTube channel. Here is where we empower Black women to overcome their doubts, fears, and insecurities in order to walk into their God given purpose. How do we do that, you ask? Well, we create safe and brave spaces just like this for Black women to show up authentically as themselves. So join me and sometimes some of my friends or our journey as we remind you that you are not alone. I am Coach Felicia, and together we will find our fears and slay them. Hey Slayers, welcome to another episode of Slaying Self Doubt Podcast. It's your girl, Coach Felicia. Now, I already know y'all are about to give it to me because I have been MIA for the past couple of weeks, and this is exactly what this episode is going to be about. And so we're going to bypass all the pleasantries in the beginning. If you've been here, you already know. If you're new here, I'll catch you up later. So today's episode is called Stay Ready, right? I have been MIA because I thought that I could go into this season the way I've done everything else, right? I knew coming into starting this new season, I'm calling it seasons, but they're not really, but this season of doing these solo episodes separate from doing the interviews, is that, hey, I have time. I have the space and the energy to be able to wing it the way I used to. And you guys heard me say this multiple times that, like, in the very beginning of this podcast journey, I was literally just going on about my day, going on about my time, my month, my year, whatever it was that week, specifically the week. And I would get on and I'd be like, let me tell y'all what happened this week, yada, yada, yada. Then I transitioned because I think I told you all before, just going back, like I got some feedback from someone else from this network who had reached out to me to see if I wanted to be a part of it. Was like, girl, you need some structure. And I was just like, oh, okay, so we can't be winging it. So I took that feedback and I was like, all right, you got to have some structure. And when I did that, I legit one saw the difference in my productivity, number one. Number two, I saw a difference in the numbers, right? Like we started growing and all of those different things. And so I think that I went backwards, right? And I said, let me just go ahead and wing it. Like, being as though I had the pressure of all the other stuff, now I can just share whatever it is I need to share. But the difference is this, y'all. The difference is, in the beginning, I was figuring it out. In the beginning, I didn't know what I wanted to talk about. In the beginning, I was getting over my fear of even sharing, recording, all of that initial kind of self-doubt stuff. That was the struggle. So what I was sharing with you was like my everyday, like, yo, this is what I'm struggling with, this, that, and the third. And so it felt more novice and new because it was new for me. Now we 4 years into this. Girl, you can't be going backwards, right? And so what I recognized in not staying ready is that the minute I give myself that space to be able to avoid it, I skip it, right? And I know enough about myself that when I feel overwhelmed with having to do whatever it is, my go-to is to avoid. And so I just be like, they be all right. I'll do it another day. I'll do it next week. And then the next week will come and something else will happen. Then the next week will come and something else will happen. And I literally sat down last week and I recorded an episode and I did wing it. I tried to wing it, y'all. It didn't work. It didn't work. I couldn't. When I tell you, I will not even set myself up by just publishing it. Cause I thought about it, was like, I'm gonna just do it just to do it. And I said, no, first of all, you owe it to yourself, to everything that you put out, to be like honorable and have integrity in what it is that you're doing, because you've been doing this far too long for you to be still sounding like a beginner, for you to be still out here fumbling over your words, trying to figure it out. Like, the amount of times that I was like, because I couldn't even put a thought together because I was like I really was just all over the place, and it was because I wasn't ready. It was like I went to this thing I came and sat down here and got on the mic just to say I was on the mic, right? And I don't know about you, but for me, once you've been doing something long enough, it is not okay for you to just show up and just expect for your winging it to be able to give you the same energy it was giving you back in the day, right? And I think for myself, I really thought that, okay, Bun, like you've been doing this long enough, you could do this in your sleep. The way people say how naturally this stuff comes to me, I'm like, yeah, you're right. It does come naturally to me. And I have done a great job of creating this space, creating this platform. Why in the world would I mess it up? Now, why would I set myself up by coming on here and giving y'all some frackle knackle, right? And I really was struggling with, okay, what did I do in the beginning? Like when I say the beginning, like the beginning of starting whatever, what month we in? October, in September. And I said I had an idea. Those first couple of episodes, I knew what I was wanted to talk about. I was passionate about it. Did I have to do some research on it? Absolutely not. But I was so passionate about what I wanted to say that it was flowing through me without effort, right? And so I assumed that it was just going to continue to do that. But the reality is that no, sometimes you need to sit down and you need to just plan some stuff out, right? And figure out how you need to be prepared for different things. And so it the funny part about it is that what I wanted to talk about was this part of this devotional I read that said, when God knows you're ready, you don't have to fight for it. Well, no, when God knows you're prepared, you don't have to fight for it. And I really wanted to talk about, what does preparation look like? What should you be doing? And I was just like, baby, it don't even matter. Like if we could talk about, I mean, we could talk about it, but if you're not prepared, how was anybody supposed to get anything from you, right? And this goes back to what I was saying earlier a couple of weeks ago about releasing your sound. And it's like, how am I going to tell you can shake up the earth if I don't believe it? How am I going to tell you to be ready if I'm not ready, right? And so I just want today, when I'm being truthful to myself. So this is an encouragement to me and whoever else needs to hear it about staying ready and what the importance of it, and then also what it gives you, right? And so the first thing is that it saves time. It saves you time from fumbling around to figure out what it is that you need to do. It saves you time by you know what the plan is. When you are prepared for something and you're clear on it, I'm clear when I sit down here. I'm not trying to be in y'all ear no longer than 45 minutes because I stopped listening to myself after 45 minutes. Okay. So I really do try my best to say no more than 30 minutes, but at the most, depending on how the spirit move me, it might be 45, but no more than 30 minutes. So I can just give you something quickly and and it makes sense and it's well put together. But when I am out here putting words together, can't get my thoughts right, it takes me longer to do. And then it also is confusing, not only to you, but it's confusing to me. And my thing is that you deserve better than that. But being prepared and having a plan saves you time because you know where you're going. You know the direction that you're trying to go in. So I think I told you all I hired a VA. So I had this conversation with her and I was just rambling, okay? Rambling about what it is that I wanted to do. She was asking me some very good questions. And the VA is my cousin. She's asking me some questions. So I know she's been in this journey with me since the very beginning. And so she's asking me these questions and I'm over here like, why are you still rambling? Like 4 years later, how do you not know what you want? Right. And so I thanked her. Like I was like, let's just stop this conversation right here because I can tell, like I literally said to her, I'm just talking, right? And she like, yeah, I mean, you saying a lot of words, right? And I was like, here I am wasting the time that I have with her because I'm not clear on what it is that I want. I'm not clear on the direction that I'm trying to go in. And so I had to pause and I said, you know what? I need to go back for myself and I need to figure out what the issue is. Like, because the fact that I can't tell you what it is that I need and what I need from you, because the thing about it is that no matter what you are having to stay ready for, there are things that you're going to need from other people. But if you don't know what you need, how are you supposed to be able to tell other people what you need them to do to help you? Right. And so I had a moment and I said, all right, thanks for the questions. These was really good questions. I'm going to answer them so that the next time that we talk, I want to be able to give you a clear answer, to your question. And so like I don't know, probably like 2 days later or whatever, I was just like kind of like thinking about it. And I said to myself, like, I really, the come to Jesus moment that I had to have with myself and to be truthful with myself was like why I was having so much difficulty with answering her questions about basically it's like, where you trying to go with this business? What is it that you're trying to do? And I said, you know what I'm doing? Whenever people ask me like, how you get started in this? I literally always, God gave this to me. I'm just doing what he told me to do, right? That is true. And at the same time, I have to take accountability, ownership, and I need to step into the role that God has given me. Oftentimes, well, you know what? I'm not about to put y'all in it. This is about me. I'm gonna talk about me so that way don't nobody feel like I'm talking about them. Okay. In my situation, I believe that I allowed myself to continue to say, oh, this is a God thing. This don't have nothing to do with me. I'm just here doing his, because if it failed, if it did not go the way it was supposed to go, I could say, this is God's fault, right? I just blame it on him. Like I could just be like, this is, maybe he ain't want me to do it, right? Maybe this was just, maybe he just wanted me to do this part. Maybe, he got me this far and that's it. Whatever it is that we tell ourselves when we don't take ownership. And so for me, I think I realized that like I hadn't taken ownership of the thing that he gave me, which means I didn't have to think about where I wanted to go, because it was easy for me to be able to just say, well, I'm gonna go wherever he lead me. So if he lead me nowhere, then it ain't my fault, right? If he lead me to just, point B, but he don't take me to Z, then I could say, well, this is as far as he took me, right? And that's not true. Sometimes he give you the baton and then you got to run it till you get to where he at, right? And so then he gives you the next thing. But if I'm not running with it, and if I'm not moving forward, and if I'm not doing those things, I'm wasting time. I'm not even saving time. I'm wasting time at this point because I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do. And so what I had to do was to ask myself, like, where do you want to go? And then the next question was, how do you want to get there? Like, take some ownership over this thing and say, like, yes, God gave this to me. Yes, this is my assignment. I know that there's no shadow of a doubt that this is what I'm supposed to be doing. But how can you move forward? You're going to, at the end of the day, I'm going to be in alignment with whatever he says. But at some point, I still have to make a decision, right? And a part of making that decision of what direction we're going in requires some type of planning and preparation. So if I need her help in some particular way, so we'll use one part. So I finally got to the point was like, this is one of the things that we're going to focus on. It's the podcast. Okay, what is it that you want to do with the podcast? You keep saying you want to get 100,000 downloads by the end of this year. How, Sway? How? What's your plan to get there? What is the direction that we going? What you just going to show up unprepared and just hope that people just keep listening and keep sharing and whatever? I mean, yeah, that could be it, but you're not making any effort. You're not taking. So then what? Then I'm blaming it on y'all and saying, well, they not listening and that's the reason why. No, have you done the things that you need to do to plan to get these things done, right? And so in planning that, I had to figure out like, what are the steps that we need to do? Where are the things? What are the goals that we need to meet in order for us to move in this forward direction? And having a plan, staying ready, being prepared saves you time, because then again, you're not fumbling around and just winging it and seeing what happens. And oh, okay. In the beginning of some things, that's fine. But now that we're in it, and now that you're saying you're taking it seriously, like will you be like, you wanted a nah? And I said, yes, this is what I want. Then I gotta own my part, right? So the first thing is that being prepared saves you time. The second thing is that you're productive. When you have a vision and you have a plan to get to whatever that thing is, you're productive because you know you have deadlines, you know you have things that are waiting that needs to be done, and it's written out for you. You think about when you're in college and at the beginning of your course, they give you a syllabus. Now, at the end of the day, is your responsibility to get the things done. If you don't get done, then that's on you. But they give you a plan to ensure that you are productive throughout the semester. Will stuff get thrown in there? Oh yeah, okay, this wasn't on there. Like you can't be like, hey, I didn't know I was getting a quiz. It wasn't on the syllabus. It's an outline, right? This is this, but this is the direction. The goal is for you to pass this class, and ultimately the goal is for you to do this final exam or this final assignment. But these are the steps in order for you to be prepared for this final at the end of this semester. These are the things that you need to do. These are the things that are due in between that time. You have that when you're at work and you have a goal, and you yourself give yourself a goal, or your supervisor give you a goal. There are milestones in between that. When you're trying to lose weight, you don't just say, yeah, I want to lose weight, and then the weight come off. I'm a living witness of that. Okay. As many times as I have wished it has not gone away, right? There are steps that you have to take. There are things that you need to do to make sure that that happens. And so what it does is that it makes you, when you are focused on the goal and you know that it's what you want to do and you have a plan of action, this is how you are productive, right? This is how you get to this thing. One of the things that we talk about in the Slaying One Day workshop is creating an action plan, right? Whatever it is, the thing that you feel like you need to do, you got to be able to break it down in 30, 60, 90-day intervals. Because I say it often, like, it's think of it as an elephant. Like you got to start at the feet or the toes. Like you can't just bite the elephant. You can't take the whole thing and expect for everything to happen all at once. If you're talking about your business, if you're talking about going back to school, if you're talking about advancing in your career, even on this parenting and marriage journey, there are these things, these big things that we want, these really big goals that we would like to have. There are steps that go along the way, that there's some work that has to be done intertwined into that. You're going to get some setbacks. You're going to get some things that may throw you off your game, but ultimately you still have a goal, right? And so being prepared and staying ready allows you to, when those setbacks come, to be like, okay, cool. Yeah, this happened, but we still got to go to a goal to reach, right? Like we still, this is the thing that we're trying to do. I think the other thing is that this, like we talk about setbacks is coming in, but when we have a plan prepared, you're actively moving, right? You're actively doing stuff. And so what happens is that even in the midst of that, people are watching, right? And so even if you haven't met the goal 100% and you're not all the way to your goal, people are paying attention and they notice, like, we'll use something obvious, right? If you're on a weight loss journey or a health journey, whatever that is, maybe you want to lose weight, get stronger, get leaner, get muscles, whatever the case may be, people start to notice before you've reached your goal. They're like, something different about you. You look, maybe you started eating better. So maybe your skin is brighter and it seem like you have more energy. They are noticing certain things when you are actively moving. Some people are saying, dang, she out here doing her thing. You know what I'm saying? Let me connect with her so we can collab. No, have you reached your goal? No, you haven't. And this journey is evident of that. I have not reached the goal that I would like to reach when it comes to slaying self-doubt. But in between, I've had setbacks and I have had promotions, right? I've had opportunities where people have said, I see what you're doing and I want to connect with you. I see what you're doing and I want to collab with you. I see what you're doing and I want to pay you to do this. That don't mean you done. That don't mean you not you. What happens is we come on, let's be serious. What happens is we get those little promotions, those little incentives, those little things, the celebrations, and we be like, oh, we good. Okay. The minute somebody say, oh, you losing weight. Yeah, I am. And then what you do, you look in the mirror, you like, okay, she is. All right. And then you stop. you don't keep that same energy because now someone else has noticed. And so what we have to do is keep our blinders on and say, thank you, I received that. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Thank you. Yeah, I am. I'm working on it. I have a goal. I haven't reached it yet, but thank you right now for noticing it. And we got to keep moving. We have to keep moving and keep doing those things because we have somewhere that we need to be, and we can't just keep stopping every single time something good or bad happens in between. Lastly, so I said it being prepared and being prepared and staying ready, those things, it saves you time, it you are more productive, and then it gives you freedom. It eventually will give you freedom of your time, right? Because I have, at this point, we're at episode 264, right? And ideally, I can rewind every single one of my episodes backwards and never publish another live podcast in probably 4 years. If I, now this is me saying, like, if I were to just keep reusing my content, right? Because I was moving along and I was doing what I needed to do, I could use what I've already created to give me the freedom of my time to do something else. If that was what I was desired, if that is what I desired, because I've already put in the work. I already did what I needed to do to get to this point. I still haven't reached my goal, but now I can use this time to say, hey, I want to add something to it. But what if I wanted to, I could be like, we just gonna go backwards, right? Let's just rewind it. And there are times where I have rewound a series that we've done because I thought it was really good. And I was like, y'all need to hear it again, right? Because sometimes we don't have to just hear things one time, but also it gives me the freedom of my time. But that's because I already did the work. The problem is that we want to be able to have the freedom of our time and also not do the work, right? Like that doesn't work. You have to do something in order to be able to get the freedom. But being prepared with the saving of the time allows you to be free, because instead of me sitting here rambling or whatever have you, then feeling bad about the fact that I was rambling and I didn't do it the right way. And now I'm wasting more time doing this. I'm going through it, going through the motions, yada, yada, yada. I could be doing something else. I really could be doing something else. But being prepared for something allows me to be able to just enjoy whatever the rest of my day is, right? It's almost like, okay, I'm going to finish recording this. And if I were to decide, because it's all a choice. If I were to decide I'm not going to go through the effort of creating all the stuff that I need to create in order to publish this episode, guess what? Now I'm going to wait, right? And I wait until, let's say, tomorrow. Now, at this point, if I'm saying, oh, I got so much to do, I can't do it right now. I'm gonna just wait until tomorrow. That's cool, right? That I do that. But I do now know that because I have to do it another time, another day, it now has taken away something time that I could have, right? And so sometimes we prolong stuff, we push it down the road because we're like, oh, I'm gonna do it. But that's exactly what I did the 3 weeks before, because I wasn't prepared, because I procrastinated and avoided. Every single time I said I was gonna do it, I'm like, dang, all this, I gotta do this, and then I'm gonna have to do that. And it was just like, it's too much. And so then I just be like, forget it. I'll try again next week. Try again next week. And the thing about it is that the crazy part, speaking specifically about the podcast, is when I share with other people, they be like, it's the consistency for me. And I'm over here like, girl, if you only if you only knew. I haven't been. And so the thing about it is, you need to be honest with yourself. Whatever the goal is that you have, do what you need to do. And so back to the portion of that portion of the devotion that said, when God knows you're prepared, you don't have to fight for it. That means to me that if you're doing the things that need to be done, when it's your opportunity and it's time for him to advance you, and it's time for him to put you in the space that you have been waiting for, praying for, manifesting, you will be ready, versus somebody asking you to do something and you got to say no because you're not prepared, or you feeling anxious and worried the entire time because you have not done anything. If somebody were to, so I think about it like this. I told y'all, so in August, when I did when I was the moderator, as nervous as I was about being the moderator, it wasn't about the fact that I'd never done it before, right? It was more about the fact that how do I interact with these many people? Because guess what? I'd already been doing the work. I already been interviewing people. I've already interviewed over 100 people up until that point. So I've been showing up consistently here and doing it for someone else to be able to say, like, she'd be perfect for it because I've watched her do it. Now, and here we go. We're going to put this little asterisk up here. You ain't going to do it exactly the way I'm going to have you do it, but you're prepared. Now, all I had to do was shift, right? I needed to just figure it out. Now, I was telling somebody yesterday, the entire time the wheels are turning in my head because I'd never been in that situation before. But because I was prepared, nobody could tell that I was trying to figure out, am I doing this right? Like, that's literally what I was thinking. No, and nobody could tell that I was doing it because I was already prepared for it. God knew that I was ready for that. It was a level up. And what we think is we think that we're doing stuff at this level, God just gonna bless you on the same level, like it's gonna be a lateral move. No, if He gonna move you up, He gonna move you up, but He gonna use what you already been doing to be able to do the next thing. But if you're doing nothing, you don't get leveled up to anything. If you're doing nothing, you're not prepared. If you're doing nothing, then yes, you are fighting for it. You wondering why you ain't being asked to do stuff. You wondering why your name ain't being brought up in rooms. You wondering because you ain't doing nothing. You over here thinking it's just supposed to poof and happen. Somebody's just supposed to know your name and be like, oh yeah, I know her. If I were to stop doing what I was doing and stop showing up, stop doing the things that I need to do, would Slaying Self Doubt still be like, oh, yeah, I know exactly who that is, but I ain't seen her in a minute. She put out a podcast. I don't even know if she's still doing it. You would know Slaying Self Doubt because I did the work to be able to for you to know the name, but you would then question my commitment and whether or not I'm actually doing this thing. You will be questioning whether or not I don't know. Should we still ask her? Is she still doing that? Now, granted, people can pivot and do other stuff, but if you're not even showing up in the space that you need to show up for people to even see that you are capable of doing the thing that you praying for, I I don't get it. I don't understand. And again, I'm talking to myself. Remember, this entire episode is about me. I'm not even talking to you. But if you get something, hey, that's all you. But I'm saying that you can't ask God to bless you in a way that you're not willing to show up when nobody else is watching. You can't ask God to you can't be out here manifesting things and saying I want to be in rooms that I want to be in the rooms where people are that are making big decisions. I told y'all before, I'm trying to be on Essence stage. Okay, I want to be out here interviewing Tabitha Brown. I want to be out here Sarah Jakes Roberts. Like, I'm trying to be on those stages in these panels having these conversations. Those are the things that I want to be able to do. But if I can't show up here and do the thing when nobody else is watching, when it's just me in my living room doing, how in the world is anybody going to say, why would God put me somewhere if He like, girl, you can't even show up for you? He not gonna put me nowhere if He know you not even gonna show up for you. So above anything else, like, you have to stay ready for yourself. And when you're ready for yourself and you're doing the things that's necessary for you, focus on you. Everything else will work itself out. Now, this is again a message for me. It's not for you. If you got it, that's your business. If you enjoyed this, if you thought that, yes, let me know. I want some feedback. I don't even have a question for the episode. Well, if I did have a question for an episode, the question would be, are you ready? That would be it. That would be, you need to ask yourself, are you ready? And if you're not ready, what do you need to do to get ready? Point blank period. There you go. If you are, you ready? And if you're not ready, what do you need to do to get ready? Those are the things that I want you to ponder on today, because we all have something that we're supposed to be doing. We all have goals, aspirations, dreams, assignments, gifts, all of those things. There's something that we are supposed to be doing to shake up the earth. God has given each and every one of us something. The question is, are you ready? And you better be careful what you pray for, because God is also a suddenly God, and He will put you in the room and you be like, now wait, how did I get here? Because you prayed for it and you asked for it, and the question is, do you really want it? But now once I put you in there, It's go time. Is now you have to continue. You have to be committed. You have to keep the momentum going forward, because I've now put you in a space where somebody can see you and they're gonna be like, oh yeah, her, oh yeah, him. Like, I need to, yep, that's who I need to connect with. And so you got to be ready for anybody who reaches out and be like, hey, I want to collab with you. Hey, I want to know if you can come speak to these people. Hey, can you come, do my hair? You got hairstylists out here who are just, they YouTube stylists, or they're, social media stylists. They ain't in no booth or in no salon. They in a bedroom, right? Or they in a basement doing hair or whatever have you. And then guess what? Somebody see what they doing and they're like, hey, listen, I got somebody who I need you to, and you never know who the person is. Hey, can you get connect? I mean, it may end up with a celebrity stylist. I mean, a celebrity that you're doing their hair, or you doing their nails, or you doing their makeup, because they're watching you show up when nobody else is looking. And so I'm just telling you, buddy, show up. Coach Felicia, show up even when nobody else is looking. Stay ready so you don't have to get ready. Okay. So that is all I have to say for today. Let's run down these things really quickly. Share the episode at least 10 times. Oh, I forgot to tell y'all. So a couple of weeks, not even a week, maybe like a week and a half ago, we hit 70,000 downloads. How about I look today and we hit 72? So then also, I said, Lord, he is a suddenly God, okay? Because when I rank and random numbers again, I say, is that right? Like in less than 2 weeks, we hit 72. So the thing is that people are listening, and I have to show up. I have to continue to show up. So the thing is that stuff is going to continue to have a forward movement. You just have to decide if you want to do it. So we're still trying to hit $100,000 before the end of the year, and this is just showing me it's possible. Okay, so I need you to share this with at least 10 people. It's hoodie season, so grab your "We Just Out Here Trusting God" hoodie. We actually now have a Shop Trusting God IG page, so you can look on that. You can follow that. If what was I about to say? Oh, next Wednesday. Well, actually, this Wednesday, because you guys are here this Sunday. So this Wednesday, October 18th, is the Slay in One Day workshop. Really, I'm telling you, it's a great investment for yourself. Invite your friends, and just really come to this space open-minded, open-hearted, to be able to learn the 4 ways you can slay yourself out. This will be an opportunity for you to truly push past your fears, and take that one thing to get ready. Like I literally just said, like, I'm not telling you that we're going to sit here and fix your entire life, but I promise you, for one thing that you decide that this is the thing that I need help on, I promise you, by the time you finish that 90 minutes, you're gonna know what it is. As always, thank y'all for rocking with me. If you found this podcast valuable, consider making a donation by buying me a coffee. Your support of a small donation of $5 to $10 to help me create new content, grow our audience, and purchase new equipment for live recordings, like a camera, lighting, all the microphones, those type of things. You can go to my website and podcast and click buy me a coffee, or in the link. Take charge of your mental health, y'all. This is that time of year where it's a lot going on in the world. It's a lot of heaviness. And so I y'all know Jesus in therapy all the time. I want y'all to be well, okay? And that doesn't necessarily mean not sick. I mean well, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, physically, all of those things. So you can get 10% off your first month of therapy at betterhelp.com/slaying, SLAYING. Make sure you subscribe to the newsletter. Follow me on Instagram at Slaying Self Doubt, and also Shop Trusting God. Until next week, keep slaying. Until next week, keep slaying, sis. See ya. As always, y'all, thank you for rocking with me. Again, if you enjoyed this podcast and you find it valuable, you enjoy this channel and you find it valuable, please consider donating by buying me a coffee. Your support will help me to create new content, get an official podcast studio, and ultimately reach more people. That's what we need. We need more people on this movement, okay? If you're not already signed up to the newsletter, go to my website, www.slayingselfdoubt.com, and sign up for the Slayer Nation newsletter. That's where you'll get updates, where you'll get what's going on. You'll get the news first. You don't have to wait until I announce it or hear, okay? And lastly, second to last, please make sure that you share this with at least 10 people. We are trying to reach 100,000 downloads this year, and every subscription, every share counts. So we need it. We need you to send it out to your peoples so they can help us hit our goal this year. Lastly, if you are not already following me on Instagram, you need to go on over there and follow me at Slaying Self Doubt. Until the next episode, see ya.